Last year's Oscars were the most sensational in late memory, and the aftermath is as yet being felt just 7 days prior Chris Rock's live satire unique. Whenever he first talked for a long time about the second, Will Smith led him in front of an audience, broke records for Netflix. Yet the story gets increasingly thrilling last year. Will Smith hits Chris Rock at the Oscars, following a year Chris Rock composes a rebound through a satire extraordinary. Then, before you know it, Jimmy Kimmel is making jokes all around the demonstration that is precisely exact thing occurred in this Rocksmith disaster. However, what were the words that the veteran moderator said, "That is the thing we're figuring out in this video"? Obviously, before I spill anything, ensure first that you buy into our channel. And hit that notice ringer for additional updates and recordings like this. Currently, we should make a plunge you didn't figure Jimmy Kimmel would allow the 2023 Oscars to go by without a slap joke, would you? The current year's Oscar have opened the show with a clever speech that included quips about Nicole Kidman's office, spoofed AMC Business, and Tom Voyage's Scientology Association. Yet he likewise went weighty on Zynga's about the stunning second from the 2022 Oscars, in which Will Smith strolled onto the stage and slapped moderator Chris Rock for kidding about his significant other, Jada Pinkett Smith. Jimmy Kimmel facilitated the Oscars for a third time frame and couldn't resist the opportunity to reference last year's title making function on the off chance that anything capricious or fierce occurs during the service. Simply do what you did last year, nothing the entertainer and late night have said during his discourse, referring to Will Smith slapping Chris Rock in front of an audience at the 94th Foundation Grants in 2022. Jimmy referenced the episode in his trailer for the year's show, as well as teeing up the broadcast recently. Kimmel kidded that on the off chance that any such thing reoccurred this year, participants ought to stay there and do literally nothing thing, perhaps give the aggressor an embrace. Kimmel likewise kidded that this year there are severe strategies set up if there should arise an occurrence of another actual explosion. "Allow me a subsequent, I'll change my risk zone here," was Jimmy Kimmel's most memorable line. "We realize this is an extraordinary night for you. We maintain that you should have a great time. We maintain that you should have a real sense of reassurance, and in particular, we maintain that I should have a good sense of security." Kimmel 55 started the honor service. After a riff about variety, Kimmel added 5 Irish entertainers are selected this evening, which implies the possibilities of one more battle in front of an audience. Went far up warming to the subject, he guaranteed the crowd, "We believe you should have a good time. We believe that you should be protected. And above all, we believe I should be protected on the off chance that anybody carries out a demonstration of viciousness. Whenever during this show you will be introduced the Oscar for Best Entertainer and be allowed to allow a 19 short-lived discourse on the off chance that anybody in this performance center commits a demonstration of savagery. At any point during the show you will be granted the Oscar for Best Entertainer." Kimmel got in another dig while referencing the quantity of Irish entertainers in the room, saying that the chances for one more battle in front of an audience just went far up. "There are a couple of my companions must overcome first," he said, prior to yelling out certain stars' extreme characters, including Pedro Pascal's nominal Mandalorian character, Michael Year's Evelyn Wang, from Everything Wherever at the same time, and Michael B. Jordan's Adonis Statement of Faith from Ideology. He additionally referred to Smith's 1997 hit tune, "Seeing Anyone Who Needed to Get Jiggy with It Would Need to Go Through a Glove of Guardians Made Out of Renowned Crowd Individuals." He fished by saying that assuming somebody felt enticed to get in front of an audience and slap him, they would have the big-name crowd to fight with. You must traverse the heavyweight champ Adonis doctrine. You must fight with Michelle Year. Before you get to me, you must go head-to-head with Bugman. You must go head-to-head with Tailman. And afterward, you must go through my right-hand man Guillermo to get up to this stage. The camera removed from Chief Guillermo del Toro to the next Guillermo Camel's late-night network program companion. I know he's charming, however, assuming you all things considered, much as wave at me, he'll thoroughly demolish you, Kimmel kidded, prior to closing his talk. And beginning the function, Kimmel doesn't limit his chump jokes just to the discourse. The host additionally sees the potential chance to raise the occurrence in front of the best. Narrative component class, saying he trusted it would go off without a hit, referring to the 2005 rom-com In with Smith. Begin playing the lead spot. Kimmel said ideally it goes off without a hit, or without hit really concentrates, and afterward hush up about them for his Ahmed and Journey love. And prior to offering out the honor, for narrative chance this point in the show sort of makes you miss the slapping a piece right. And at the end of the show, after everything, wherever at the same time, one Best Picture camel tossed in one final hit, extraordinary work emergency group. He kidded, wrapping up the transmission at last, he began to stroll off stage. And the credits began to move a load up, was seen with the words number of Oscar broadcasts, without occurrence 001 following Smith's eruption. In 2022, The Entertainer proceeded to win Best Entertainer for Ruler Richard and convey a close-to-home discourse. However, didn't address Rock. He has since apologized to the comic and left being an individual from the Foundation of Movie Expressions and Sciences. The Institute additionally prohibited him from going to its occasions for quite some time anyway. Even following a year, Chris Rock actually probably won't be prepared to pardon the unbelievable entertainer Chris Rock kidded about the disputable Will Smith Oscar second, almost 1 year after the fact in his new parody, Exceptional, on Spring 4th the Chameleon, played out Netflix's very first live transmission. A satire unique, named Chris Rock's specific shock from the Hippodrome Theater in Baltimore. At one point in the show, Rock 58 tended to the occurrence when Smith 54 hit him in front of an audience, finally Years Institute grants function on Walk 27, 2022 subsequent to poking a fun at his significant other Jada Pinkett Smith's shaved head. While introducing an honor that evening, any individual who says words hurt has never been hit directly upside the head, he expressed right off the bat in the set, saying he'll do whatever it takes not to set off anybody. Afterwards, Rock kidded about Sneak Homie doing ads guaranteeing I love Sneak. I'm not dissing Sneak prior to adding a reference to Smith. Without naming him, the last thing I really want is another frantic rapper, right? As the group extolled, he then added no back to the show going on by doing a piece about Meghan Markle close to the furthest limit of the show. Rock tended to the Oscars more top to bottom, saying he's not a casualty child, you won't ever see me on Oprah or Gail crying he won't ever witness it, never going to. He kidded that he got smacked by Shook Smith. He additionally brought up Smith's size distinction contrasted with himself. Rock additionally proceeded to stick Smith over the title-making snare show he had with spouse Jada and the Red Casual Conversation episode they did together anyway. News reports are saying that what we have seen in particular shock could have not been all pieces of it, and there is as yet a seriously